What's up? What's up? What's up? Your boy Domuto. We're back with another video today. We are watching almost reshot the last video. What if Universe 6 and 7 merged? So we're watching part 14 and the finale as well. So it'll be a 30-minute video at least. So make sure y'all get y'all, you know what I'm saying, get your little popcorn, a little water. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into it, man. About the Lord Slug about to come over and do his thing. And, you know what I'm saying? We gonna see how the heroes take care of it. Let's get to it.
Following his transformation on both planets, of course the fighters are gonna respond with their own transformations too. Khalifa's actually pretty happy about this. It's finally time to show off her new transformation. She's been waiting to use this in battle. She's the first one to transform, taking on a new form with purple hair. Vegeta's also kind of jealous because she keeps her eyebrows, but for some reason his go away when he uses this.
That's crazy.
Whatever though. He goes into the same form, with both using Ultra Ego. And as that happens, Goku and Cabba go into Ultra Instinct. A fight breaks out on Earth, and quickly, they see that they might be outmatched. Hit also has warned them about his time-stopping abilities too. And they are able to push Slug back, but he is incredibly powerful. He is the individual strongest in the universe, but when he's fighting 5 people that are pretty close to that title too, it's going to make it a bit tough for him, although he has all of their abilities and knows all their moves. He's attacking so quick that he basically surpasses time with ease, not to mention he can control time to an extent. It's almost like he's attacking in the past somehow, like his attacks occurred moments before they actually land. They can't even be seen. They're not even sure of how he's capable of doing this. The same thing is happening on Namek too, where they also have 2 powerhouse fighters and then 2 Ultra Instinct fighters, as well as a time stopper. And as they're fending off Lord Slug, the 2 groups come to realize that the Slug on Earth is stronger. The one on Namek is actually weaker, so he split himself up in a different way.
Okay.
Most of the power went to the one on Earth, and because of that, the one on Namek is actually killed pretty easily. With Shin and Fu teleporting in right after, they're surprised to see them on the battlefield. Piccolo says they should go back immediately because this will put the gods of destruction at risk. But Fu had a great idea. He's going to teleport all of them back to Earth so they can get back there instantly. And just to make sure they have extra firepower, they get 2 pairs of Potara earrings from Shin and Fu. They quickly explain what these things are and what they do. They tell Broly and Kale to bring it back to Earth. Piccolo and Gohan will stay here just in case. Granola decides to stay with them too. So the Kais quickly teleport Broly and Kale to Earth, then quickly leave it. And Slug does look a bit concerned. He just needs to hold out for a little bit longer. He thinks he could accomplish this. They were smart for splitting up. And he has done some good damage here already. He says that 90% of his power went to the one on Earth, and 10% went to the one on Namek. But now that they have reinforcements, it's kind of an issue. And they notice when Shin and Fu teleport in, Beerus and Champa were there briefly, basically acting as bodyguards for the Kais. Slug obviously did notice the Kais come in, and he probably did have the idea to go after them too. But for some reason he's not even fazed by their arrival. It's like he doesn't even care that he had the opportunity to just kill them now. Which kind of concerns Beerus and Champa. Why does he still seem so confident? He's clearly going to lose here. Beerus and Champa even consider fusing themselves. They could do that and become incredibly powerful, even using Ultra Instinct, which they definitely have access to by now. But at the same time, they need to protect these Kais that they're linked to, and if they do fight alone, balancing out their destructive force would be kind of hard. They might accidentally destroy everything in the process of fighting. Maybe even just from existing, so they don't want to risk it. Slug continues losing ground on Earth. No matter what he does, he's being pushed back and taking considerable damage, to the point where he can't even regenerate it, thanks to Vegeta and Caulifla using the Kais. And they land one final attack. No one even needs to fuse right now. They could just erase Slug right on the spot. And with a combined effort, Lord Slug is defeated. Vegeta and Caulifla land a powerful Kai together, glad to finally kill him, watching as he's erased by it. But as he's being erased, he smiles a little. They fell for it again. He's erased before he could say anything else. But they're wondering what he means by that. Cabba then gets communication from Dr. Rhoda with the Galactic Patrol. He says they've detected the Super Dragon Balls returning. It seems they're no longer dormant, basically just at the moment they returned. But the planets, they're all moving together. They have been keeping track of the planets that were supposed to turn into Super Dragon Balls, detecting nothing strange near them. If they did detect Lord Slug somehow getting near them, they would have been able to tell everybody. But there was no ship that arrived, nothing else. And for some reason, the planets are moving now. Somebody or something is pushing them. And it's because Lord Slug planned for this in advance. With the Super Dragon Balls, there's a clone of him. Lord Slug split off a small fraction of himself a while ago. The 2 slugs that they were fighting were actually 99% of his full strength. There's another Lord Slug clone right there, who's at 1% of his power. There's no way he could fight anybody else. And this is how he remained undetected. He was split off months ago and stayed with the Super Dragon Balls. He kept his energy low so they couldn't detect it, and by living with the Super Dragon Balls, he never needed a ship to fly in. He was completely undetected this entire time. Just to be safe, he would have loved to get Earth's Namek's Dragon Balls, but it doesn't seem like it matters now. Even if those 2 sets of Dragon Balls are somehow used at the moment, it doesn't matter. He already has the Super Dragon Balls. Ideally, he wanted to destroy them, but delaying their usage like this is perfectly fine too. And he thanks Moro and the Gods of Destruction. Without them, he would have had no way of finding the Super Dragon Balls. He also could have simply gone after the regular Dragon Balls after gaining the powers from the Super Dragon Balls, but he simply couldn't wait. Besides, it's better to strike preemptively, and the conquest was pretty fun. He did at least want to feel some sort of challenge before becoming the strongest thing ever, and there was definitely a challenge for a bit, but of course he still had this to get his victory. Super Shenron is summoned, and immediately, Lord Slug makes his wish. He wants the greatest amount of power that the Super Dragon Balls can grant. To become the strongest in any reality, he's going to get the power of the Dragon God Zama, essentially merging with the Super Dragon Balls themselves. And with that power, he can control the Super Dragon Balls and become the strongest thing ever, surpassing even Zeno with ease. This multiverse will be his domain.
Damn.
He'll probably move even beyond that. The wish is
Dub
granted,
IQ.
and the essence of Super Shenron himself merges into Lord Slug, with Slug powering up immensely. The Super Dragon Balls around him are destroyed, causing an explosion that's so powerful that the shock destabilizes the entire universe. The mend between Universe 6 and 7 breaks once again from this. Everything is shaking. It can be felt on Namek, on Earth. Not just that, the sacred world of Kai's, Beerus' planet. Otherworld, hell, all of the realms in Universe 6 and 7. Beyond that too. Reaching the other universes as well. The other gods of destruction and Kai's wonder what's happening. And even Zeno is alerted from this. But just as he and the Grand Priests are about to look into it, they just disappear, completely being removed from reality. Alongside Zeno's guards. Slug needed to get everyone there out of the way immediately. They're realistically the only threat he could have faced. But it looks like he was worrying too much because he was even beyond them. It all happened within an instant. They didn't even realize what was happening by the time it did happen. As for everyone else, they're of no concern. No other sets of Dragon Balls are strong enough to hurt him. No mortals are strong enough to hurt him. No gods are strong enough to hurt him. Slug is the strongest thing in reality right now. And it's by a huge margin. But it can't just be this reality. Slug needs to assure that he's the strongest in every reality. There can't be any threat facing him. But this is all part of his plan anyways. He's not concerned at all. And Slug is going to exploit this chaos. With all the universes collapsing in on each other, it's a good opportunity for him. This is his new domain, and he wants to see what he truly controls here. The boundaries between every universe collapse. Every universe is destabilized. Slug tries to even warp time for himself, but runs into a little bit of an issue. His body can't fully adjust to this power. It's not because it can't contain it, it's because he's created a weird paradox. He's messing with time and reality a little too much right now. And he sees the problem. He needs to become a constant. There are Lord Slugs in other realities. He needs to obtain their power as well. There just needs to be one. By controlling the realities of the other slugs, he risks affecting himself. Well, that's fine with him. He needs to purge all the other realities of any threats anyways, so taking a pit stop and merging with his other selves isn't too big of an issue. This will be his prime reality, and he'll become the constant, the one slug in any realities. And once that happens, he'll truly have a full grasp on his power. Not just raw strength, but the ability to overwrite reality itself. Basically authoring his existence and everyone else's. Sure, right now he's the strongest thing ever. He doesn't really need this. It's almost too excessive. But the power is tantalizing. He wants it for himself. He wants the ability to overwrite reality to his heart's content. This will allow him to grow so much further than he can even imagine right now.
Wow.
So he leaves this reality for a bit, warping into others just to find the other slugs. And just the thought of it makes him excited. He'll have the full power of the Super Dragon Balls. He could even make his own wishes from the Super Dragon Balls, basically having infinite wishes. And this will be accomplished soon enough. For now, we'll just refer to him as Prime Slug, because there's going to be other ones coming into the story, as he looks through other realities trying to find them. And with all these different realities that exist, he has two tasks. He needs to get rid of all the other slugs by merging with them, or simply killing them if they won't merge with him. And besides that, he needs to do the same with the Super Dragon Balls, either absorbing their power, or destroying all the Super Dragon Balls in any other reality. But by doing this, he creates even more destabilization. Connections are made to other realities, any other continuity where Lord Slug exists in it. Back in Universe 6.5, or whatever this universe is now because all of them are collapsed together, Beerus and Champa are trying to figure out the best thing that they could do. The other gods of destruction are already on the move. Even in Universe 11, they've mobilized the Pride Troopers. But nobody knows what to do right now. Of course, there's a huge threat, but how do they even find Lord Slug, and what are they supposed to do against him? But the biggest issue is in Universe 6.5. Since alternate slugs started appearing, these were sent by Prime Slug just to help them out. And now Earth faces a bunch of them. Some are variants of Prime Slug, and some are just simply clones of him that he split off. They all descend upon Earth. Looks like they're gonna have to use those Potara earrings now. They just hope this works. Goku and Vegeta decide to fuse together, and Caulifla's about to fuse with Cabba, but wonders what would change if he fused with Kale instead. So they fuse together. Two new fusions are born, naming themselves Vegito and Kefla. Vegito has all of Goku and Vegeta's powers, meaning he can swap between Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. But as for Kefla, she's a raw powerhouse, having all of Kale's explosive strength, combined with the destructive power of Caulifla's Ultra Ego. Vegito's the best here in terms of technique, but Kefla's all about raw power. They start defending her. Meanwhile on Namek, it doesn't seem like anything is going on there. Piccolo, Gohan, and Granola need to get back, but the Kais can't risk going to Earth right now. So they're stuck on Namek. What are they supposed to do? Piccolo needs to try and formulate some sort of plan. As Prime Slug moves through all the realities, He comes across some very strange ones. Things are different, and he's not too sure why. He assumes it's some kind of butterfly effect. Maybe one thing changed a while ago and that caused everything to change here. For one, he notices all these realities, they just have normal Universe 7s.
Okay.
And it seems like in all those realities he's from Universe 7, surprisingly. Let's look into one of these realities for a bit. In this reality, we arrive on Earth, in a seemingly normal Universe 7. On this planet, there's a man that looks like Goku, but he isn't Goku. He goes by the name Kakarot, and he's watching as two people are fighting right now. His brother Raditz, and his ally Granola. These two have recently ascended their most powerful forms, gaining their own respective Ultra forms, and they're about to face off with them. But they notice a strange tear in reality, and they know that's what it is because they've experienced this before. A man steps through this tear in reality. It's Lord Slug. How is he back? They killed him so long ago, and what is that tear in reality? Raditz doesn't want to deal with more multiverse shenanigans again. But it looks like they don't have a choice. Granola, Raditz, and Kakarot all transform to strange-looking forms. This surprises Slug a bit. Weird, he never saw those in his original reality. It seemed like this was a universe where Goku was somehow raised by the Crane School, never hitting his head and basically being Kakarot his entire life up until now. Well, he isn't sure what happened here, but he doesn't really care. Although, I'll put it on the top right of the screen if you want to see what scenario this is. He focuses all of his power, and strangely enough, another Lord Slug materializes out of nowhere. He came to this reality, using the strongest people here as a beacon, which is Kakarot, Raditz, and Granola. This helped him locate the reality, and now he's using his powers to warp time. Slug is dead in this reality, but he pulled him out of the past. Because even though he's dead here, he was never erased. His soul still exists. The other Slug even looks confused too. But then Prime Slug grabs onto him,
I'm so confused right now.
Into himself. Essentially a Namekian fusion that he controlled. This is an interesting reality. He'll definitely have to come back soon. And Prime Slug then disappears. What the hell was that? In another continuity, the same exact thing happens. This time, Prime Slug locates somebody on Namek. And once again it turned out to be Goku, or at least an alternate version of him, who's also Kakarot in this timeline. He was actually raised on Namek, and it seems like a Lord Slug exists in this timeline too. Strange. It looks like Goku constantly comes into contact with Lord Slug in these other timelines. He goes into another reality. Surprisingly enough, the person he teleports to is Frieza. So Frieza's one of the really strong people in this reality. The Emperor transforms, with his body becoming black and silver. But before Frieza could even attack him, Lord Slug pulls himself out of this reality too. This is a timeline that kind of follows the regular events of the mainline story, but where the events of the Lord Slug movie took place. And he keeps hopping around different realities where he did exist. And there's one reality where there's no Lord Slug, but they know what's happening there. There's Cronoa, the Supreme Kai of Time, and she's there with two different versions of Bardock. They notice an instability in reality, something that they have experienced before, where someone was messing with time and space. But this time, it's much different. The person messing with it is far stronger. She wonders if this involves Fuse somehow. Bardock suggests that their newly formed Time Patrol should get involved, but they kinda need to figure out what's going on first. Let's go back to the main reality. In case you didn't get what just happened, Lord Slug hopped between a few of my what-ifs and then some other realities too.
Right.
But while all of that was happening, in the reality of this story, Piccolo finally did formulate a plan. He wanted to learn more about the Dragon God Zalama. Lord Slug doesn't see this universe as a threat anymore, and he's gonna come back eventually to rule it, so he won't destroy it. So Piccolo wonders, is there a way to create his own set of Super Dragon Balls? They've gathered all the Namekians together, all the new warrior Namekians, and the Elders. And surprisingly enough, Shin and Kibito teleport in, even bringing Kami to Namek too, holding all 7 of Earth's Dragon Balls. This entire time while Slug has been causing chaos, they feel like they might have come up with a plan. Piccolo merging with other Namekians worked really well before, so maybe they could do that again. Merge with everyone here, have the power of Universe 6 and 7's Namek, but not just the warriors, the Dragon Clan members too. So from what they understand, Lord Slug merged with the Dragon. What if Piccolo was able to do the same? This is a last-ditch effort. They really have no other option here. They might as well put all their cards on the table. This is incredibly risky, but it's worth a shot. Shenron and Founder are summoned together,
Piccolo.
And all the Namekians gather around Piccolo. And Piccolo makes one wish to both the dragons. He wishes for the dragons to grant him all the power they can, merge into him. This is really a long shot, but this will buff Piccolo significantly, and maybe will give him the ability to create his own Super Dragon Balls. That's really their only shot at winning here. A strange glow surrounds the entirety of Planet Namek. The two dragons grant their wishes. Gohan and Granola watch on cautiously. A fight on Earth rages on between the Slug Army and all of our heroes. But on Namek things are weirdly peaceful. Every Namekian disappears, as do the dragons. With light shooting out of them, going into Piccolo. Every Namekian, both dragons, the Dragon Balls, all of them merge into Piccolo.
Okay.
Both sets of Dragon Balls swirl around the entire planet, then implanting themselves into different parts of Namek, almost like seeds being planted for a tree to grow. And where Piccolo stands, there's a strange pillar of light, a giant one in fact, taking on the shape of a Namekian tree. He ascends up into the circular part of it, and all the light condenses into him, and Piccolo floats there, in awe at this new power. That definitely works, but he's not sure if this is enough, otherwise he'd just wish Lord Slug away right now. There's still more that needs to be done, but they're on the right path. And they probably need to get back to Earth too. He thanks all the other Namekians for their sacrifice, but they live on within him, and hopefully when this is all over, he can return their lives. Gohan asks if he feels any different, and Piccolo says he does, trying to summon this brand new power. And Granola looks on kind of speechless. Is he even Piccolo anymore? He begins morphing into something entirely different. And on the planets of the gods of destruction from every universe, their respective angels
That's
are all
a crazy
watching.
idea,
Hope might have
Charlotte.
arrived, and they need to help out that Namekian somehow. They don't know who this Namekian from Universe 6.5 is, but they simply refer to him as the Namekian Savior. As Piccolo begins morphing into something different, with Vegito, Kefla, Cabba, Broly, and Hit all fighting on Earth, this is where we'll leave off. Piccolo fully transforms, trying to summon this power for the very first time. He takes on an odd appearance. His size is similar to that of his orange form, but there's some clear changes. First of all, he goes back to being green, although a darker green, more like what Shenron looks like. He grows a tail, looking like that of a dragon. And in his chest, they see the Dragon Balls, or what used to be the Dragon Balls. Piccolo has effectively become the new Zalama, but he needs to surpass that. He needs to have power great enough to stop Lord Slug. He'll need power greater than the Super Dragon Balls, not just in one timeline, but all.
I don't like this. They look
For him to
creepy.
get power. With this newfound strength and his heightened sense of awareness, he realizes something. Slug has been traveling into other realities, other timelines. He's been trying to merge with alternate versions of himself, and maybe it's working. He's not too sure because he doesn't know where Prime Slug is at the moment. But if that works for him, then it should work for Piccolo too. As he is now, his power might not be enough to fight Lord Slug, which is absurd because he's definitely the strongest thing in the universe besides him. Everything pales in comparison to his power at the moment, but it still might not be enough. He needs to assure Lord Slug is stopped. He tells Gohan and Granola they need to regroup with the others. And not long after, Maris arrives on the planet. But it's strange because Namek is completely empty. The planet itself is pretty much untouched. But there's no people here. They're all within Piccolo now. Piccolo's going to chase down Lord Slug, while they're going to have to defend this universe in case anyone tries to attack it. Piccolo already knows that there's clones of Lord Slug here trying to attack. Although he's unsure if they're clones, alternate versions of him, or a mix of both.
Right.
Either way, it's up to them to help the others and defend Earth too. Piccolo slowly floats up in the air, and then vanishes, trying to use his power to warp between realities. Gohan and Granola wish him luck, as Maris then flies them back to Earth, amazed at how strong a mortal could grow. As Piccolo travels through realities, it's kind of tough for him to merge with other Piccolos. As for Lord Slug, he was going to any time on the Slug, and they either willingly merge with him, or he just forcefully merged them into himself. But as for Piccolo, it's a little bit different because either the other Piccolos are hesitant to merge with him, or he's not going to want to forcefully merge them into himself. He travels through many different timelines. Some Piccolos do end up joining him, but others don't. But Piccolo realizes something else that he didn't even notice before. As he's looking through different realities and timelines, he notices something strange about his reality. Not too long ago, around the time when they were first fighting Slug, he noticed that there's a lot of timelines that split off. And he remembers, Lord Slug was manipulating time while he was fighting. And not the normal time skip or time stop, he was actually rewinding time basically. Controlling it to attack in the past somehow. Piccolo completely forgot about that. But every time Lord Slug traveled into the past, he accidentally created an alternate timeline. A timeline where events went exactly the same as before. And the thing is, Slug did this so many times that Piccolo has hundreds of timelines to choose from. So he splits himself into hundreds, going into each of these different timelines. He'll have to deal with the mess that he made with the timelines later, but for now, he could use this in his favor.
Okay.
And the best part is,
that makes
the
sense.
Piccolos in these other timelines, they're him just from a few hours ago at most. And it's strange because there's no Lord Slug in these timelines. He just appeared and then disappeared. He didn't even realize what he did, and they didn't realize that Lord Slug was still around. But by splitting himself up, he's able to convince all the other Piccolos to join him. They're basically perfect clones of himself before he did that ritual. He's hoping this will work. This is all too much for him, and he still doesn't know if it's going to guarantee a win here. But still, there's only one way to find out. This is their last resort. Back in the main reality, Earth is still being swarmed by different copies of Slug. Thankfully, with fighters like Ultra Ego Kefla and Ultra Instinct Vegito, it's pretty easy to fend them off. Although, these fusions don't really last too long.
Nope.
At first, yeah, they're giant powerhouses, but the fusions run out pretty much instantly. Granted, with how fast these people fight, that still is a lot of time. But they also can't just fuse immediately again. And it doesn't seem like the army of Lord Slugs is letting up. They're still appearing. But at one point,
Where the hell is
they
Whis
just
at?
stop. All of them disappear, but our fighters on Earth sense a weird power approaching.
Oh, shit.
They can't even explain the sensation of the power. It's so strong that it's basically unreadable. They have to even stop focusing on the key. Just trying to feel how powerful this guy is makes their head hurt. And they see that he's finally returned. It's the Prime Lord Slug, the one from this reality. He tells them not to worry. He's not going to destroy this reality. This is the one he hailed from after all. He's not just going to abandon it. And he says it's going to be a nice starting point. He'll roll every other version of reality from here. Besides, a megaverse of 12 universes merged together, that's a pretty fitting compound for him. Think of it as a multiverse-sized castle. Maris arrives back with Gohan and Granola. And they just stand there in awe with the others. They can't even try to fight Slug. It's like their instincts are holding them back from it. Cabba and Goku even turn to Ultra Instinct, but Ultra Instinct doesn't let them attack. They know that even approaching him is far too dangerous. Their bodies just automatically avoid fighting him. Is this it? Is this the end of everything? Not just their universe.
Damn.
Not just their reality.
He that
but every
powerful?
reality. And the craziest part to them is that Lord Slug looks the same. He hasn't undergone some amazing change. He isn't even in his orange form right now. He just looks like Lord Slug. The power is just innate. He doesn't need a transformation for it. Reality is his now. He can overwrite it however he wants. But he knows something is still lurking about. Obviously, he's not dumb. With his great power, he's omniscient. He's omnipresent. He could feel everything, and he knows pretty much everything. He knows what Piccolo's up to. Although it was too focused on his own conquest where he didn't even realize it. And any minute now, he's going to show up again. There's a brilliant glow of light. That same tree-shaped key that Gohan and Granola saw reappears. Pretty much out of nowhere. And Lord Slug instinctively blocks an attack. The group on Earth can't even tell what's happening. It happens faster than an instant. By the time it's already happened, they haven't even processed it yet. Piccolo's reappeared, ready to fight Lord Slug. Slug says that Piccolo's plan was pretty impressive. And maybe he could have stopped him when he first got the Super Dragon Balls. But Slug's on a completely different level now. His power is incomprehensible. He's merged with every other version of himself that he could find. He's merged with other sets of Super Dragon Balls from other realities. He knows Piccolo probably heard what he said, even when he was in a different reality, but he repeats himself. He could rewrite everything. He basically authors his own story. What Piccolo says despite Lord Slug's immense power, he doesn't even realize. He's still underestimating his opponents. The two of them then warp away, reappearing in the middle of nothingness in some unknown reality, a place where they could fight that's not going to damage anything. Piccolo brought them both here. He and Slug have the exact same powers now, although obtained in different ways. This new version of Piccolo was born specifically to defeat Lord Slug, born from Slug's own arrogance too. But Slug wonders why Piccolo's resisting it. He tells Piccolo to just bask in the power that they have. Isn't it amazing? Slug honestly can't believe seeing someone with just as much power as him. And he hopes this enlightens Piccolo. These gods have all failed them. Look what happened to the universe they came from. The ignorance of the gods caused them to merge together. They caused this. They caused Lord Slug to be what he is today. And not just that, he's seen so many different timelines too. No god is fit to rule in any other universe. The gods of destruction, the Kais, Zeno, the angels. No one has been effective. Slug is going to be an effective ruler. Besides,
come on, Piccolo, whoop his
ass. Stand
ass.
up against him anyways. Now's his chance to make everything right. Make reality how he sees fit. Piccolo must have seen it. Those gods. All those timelines where things diverge. They don't have the dedication, the mindset, the power to rule.
Piccolo, don't do
Slug
it.
does. And Piccolo is his equal. How has that not enlightened him yet? The fact that they should create their own destiny. But the destiny of everyone isn't for Lord Slug to decide. And Slug questions Piccolo. Then who can decide it? He's the most powerful thing to ever exist. Why can't he choose, and who's going to tell him not to? But Piccolo says it's for neither of them to decide. They are still mortals after all, and if Lord Slug lived among them like Piccolo did, he'd probably see Piccolo's point of view. Slug laughs this off. They're not mortals anymore. They surpassed that long ago, even before these wishes were made. Piccolo is surrounded by the spirit of limitless Namekians that are fused within him, as Slug also gets ready for a battle. An unexplainable battle ensues. A battle between good and evil. A battle between Universe 6 and Universe 7. Between past and present, a Namekian from long ago and a Namekian from the new merged universe. Two different ideals clashing together. Two equally amazing powers. Two beings limitless in nature at this point. It's not even a traditional fight. The attacks they exchange are enough to destroy everything. The speed at which they're moving. This all happens faster than an instant. The scale of the battle.
Yes,
it goes
sir.
across many different universes, different realities. They travel through time and space, beyond dimensions that we can even comprehend. Slug is trying his best to kill Piccolo, but as for Piccolo, he's just trying to get a hold of his power. And at some point, he thinks he has the hang of it. He might not be able to kill Lord Slug. Even with the power he has right now, he's not sure if that's possible. But he can end this, albeit in a very non-traditional way. Not some martial arts, not some ki blast, but simply a snap of his fingers. Piccolo can control the power of wishes, and not just from any simple Super Dragon Balls. He can wish whatever he wants, and he resets everything, all with the snap of his fingers. Everyone else doesn't even realize what happened. For them, no time has passed at all. But everything's back to normal. Anyone who has been killed recently, they're revived. Anything that has been destroyed, it's been rebuilt. The tears between realities, the tears between universes, they're all mended. But one thing is different. There is a sacrifice made by Piccolo. He uses up all his current power, just to create a separate indestructible reality, a separate dimension, encased within infinite other dimensions, all to seal Lord Slug away in. This wish takes all of Piccolo's power and forcefully takes Lord Slug's power too. Simple erasure isn't enough for Lord Slug. He needs to make sure he never exists, never existed. Piccolo is overwriting everything that ever happened, with Slug sealed away in this pocket dimension and then erased. Utterly and completely. Not just that, every action he took, every memory of him. At least for that prime Slug up until the point where he got the Super Dragon Balls. And then, nothing. Huh, that's weird. I swear I edited this video, but the video was gone. I feel like the script was different, but I don't know what happened.
What the fuck
Hold
happened?
on, I gotta pull up the script again. I think we're on part 14. That's really strange. I swear I edited a video already, but okay. Alright, so where were we? Super Shenron is summoned. Or, he's about to be summoned.
The 15.
Before he could chant the words to make Super Shenron appear, Lord Slug just starts vaporizing. What happened? He's dying. No, this isn't just death. He's being completely erased, completely wiped out. How did he fail? What happened to him? He doesn't realize what's going on. And strangely enough, I don't remember writing this into the script, but I guess I'll go with it. He just disappears after that? Why did I write that down? Everything is back to normal to what it once was. No one has a clue what happened.
Piccolo.
Although Whis and Vados pull out their stabs and see that something happened with Lord Slug. He's gone. He's not in this reality anymore, or any reality. He's gone. Almost like he stopped existing. Only Piccolo knows what happened. He erased Slug and everything from everyone's memories, at least from after this point in time. By reversing time and rewriting reality, he also wonders if his power is gone too. It might still be there, but he has no way of knowing. But he still remembers. And it's strange. The essence of the near-future versions of the Namekians that fuse within him, they're still in there, including the Piccolo alternates. But at the same time, those alternate timelines that Lord Slug created on accident, they're gone. They never existed. And those Namekians never fused into him. They're all still here. Everyone's confused as to how everything got restored as well, including Planet Cereal, where everyone's alive again, including Monito. Piccolo could have actually gone back further. He could have made it so Lord Slug never existed, not just in this reality, but every reality. But he didn't like the idea of using time for himself, and authoring reality as he wanted it. All he wanted was for everything to be restored, and for Slug to be defeated. Everyone regroups on Earth, and Piccolo is then approached by Hit and Granola. These two have a strange sense. It's different from Ki. They can sense disruptions in time. It's inherent to their abilities.
Right.
And they feel like something happened. They don't know what happened or how it happened, but they feel like it involves Piccolo somehow. There's some sort of disruption in time, something beyond their comprehension. But they're not going to ask any further. They can tell that Piccolo doesn't want them to know for a reason. But Granola also thanks Piccolo. He doesn't know what went on, but he knows that somehow Piccolo saved everyone, and he brought Planet Cereal back.
Okay.
Kappa asked Mayris if he saw anything, and he said he didn't. Caulifla says this is her own power, and maybe Vegeta's too. Their Hakais were so strong that they erased Lord Slug, even though they were a little bit delayed. And you know what? Yeah, Vegeta theorized that that might be the case. She and Vegeta have claimed victory, and they're elated, celebrating their great power. They didn't realize their Hakais were that powerful. It looks like Ultra Ego is truly superior. We fast forward a bit, going back to Beerus' planet. Things have obviously returned to normal by now. Every reality is back to how it should be, including this one. The Saiyans and Beerus' planet want to settle the score. Which Ultra form is truly stronger, Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego? It would have been great to have Gohan here, but, you know, it's better this way. It's a 2v2. It's even. Kappa and Goku stand together in Ultra Instinct, as Caulifla and Vegeta stand together in Ultra Ego. On the sidelines is Piccolo, Broly, and Kale, watching on to see what they can learn from this battle. But right before the battle begins, there's a strange warp in time. One person appears and no one recognizes her besides Beerus. It's a short woman dressed as a Kai.
The Kai of Time.
Kai of Time, Cronoa. And she comments how this is a strange reality. Universe 6 and 7 are one. Weird, but this does seem like the place where she's supposed to be. And she's here to speak to Piccolo, pulling him aside. They're not necessarily aware of what happened, but they know something happened here and it has to do with Piccolo, as well as the Lord Slug who's gone. Everyone's trying to eavesdrop in on the conversation, but Beerus tells them to get back to their battle. This Supreme Kai of Time is from another reality. One of the ones that Slug skipped over, or was supposed to skip over before everything got reversed. They feel like more threats like this are going to show up. They actually fought someone like that in their own timeline named Fu. And in that reality, they've been working together to try and stop these threats. But they can use a power like Piccolo's on their side. They know Piccolo's a good person. Well, at least in this reality he is. And he might not have full access to his powers right now, but they're still there. They're latent. And he could reawaken that power, albeit maybe pretty slowly. The power is both there and isn't there at the same time. Okay. It's a weird paradox, and she's not even too sure how it happened. But she asks Piccolo what he thinks. Would he like to join their brand new time patrol? And it takes him thinking. He reluctantly does accept this, though. He could help other timelines too now, and he kinda does want to get to the bottom of what happened. Especially if more threats like this might exist, he wants to make sure they won't happen. He might have gotten rid of Lord Slug, but he wants to make sure every reality is safe.
Okay.
Although, he does know two other people that they could recruit. One from Universe 7 and one from Universe 6. Although, both of them live in the same universe at the moment. Cronoa's probably not going to like their abilities, though. The fact that they can control time. Not to a crazy extent, though. Piccolo thinks that recruiting Hit and Granola will really help them, too. He wants to preserve this reality. He wants to make sure it remains safe.
Okay.
And maybe these two could join along with him. But he wonders what this time patrol is and what kind of threats they're fighting. As the three of them are taken to a weird place. And they see some strangely familiar faces there, too. Is that Goku? Actually, there's a few people that look like Goku. And one of them wonders why they keep saying that name. Another person who's calling him that. His name's Kakarot. Oh yeah, Piccolo should have realized. There are some other strange timelines out there, and it seems like these people are from one of them. A reality where Goku's father survived, and that whole family actually survived. Also, there's another version of Bardock there, too. It's a small crew so far, but the Time Patrol is slowly building up. 3 new members join the What If Time Patrol.
Hey, my character joined.
It's from another What If scenario. With this new path opening for them, and with Universe 6.5 returning to relative peace, this is where we end off for now. It was weird coming up with an ending for this because I was trying to think of something to do outside the box. And this ending is definitely different from what I've done in other scenarios.
That was a good story. Good story, man. Shout out to you put your foot in this one. Lord Slug and Piccolo, Jordan, the Shenron, and Perunga. Like, come on, son. Like, that's fire. Like, I don't know the fuck. Hey, you cooking. You was, you know what I'm saying? Hey, respect, man. Appreciate. So, yeah. Shout out Saiyan. The Supreme Kai time like that added to the story. Like, I like that, all the different realities, and that shit clean. If you want to check out the last part, it'll be right here. You can check out another what if story scenario, it'll be right here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.